Guys, I've been asked to do a video on carbohydrates. Before I get started, these are just some of the ones that I eat most regularly. These aren't the only ones that I eat, but these are the majority. So black beans and brown rice. These are actually the two that I favored the most during my last competition prep. I just cycled in between or swap these out each day, or have one at one meal and one at the other. Steel cut oats. I never cut bread out really. I know a lot of people are afraid of bread, but as long as it's within your macronutrient limit for the day, then I think that you can have it. If some people don't do as well with it, or they feel how bloated feeling, then you can cut it out. But I never did. So just whole wheat, or like bread thins. We did these with turkey burgers, or we're making a grilled chicken sandwich. And then you have something like a whole wheat wrap, high in fiber, and it's pretty low carb. I mean, for one tortilla here is only 50 calories and 16 carbs with 11 grams of fiber. So that's a good choice to change it up from bread. If you're making like a grilled chicken, ground turkey, or even fish, shrimp, tacos, or something like that, this would be a good choice. And then rice cakes. These are all complex carbs. Rice cakes aren't really complex. They're more of a simple carb, but they're in small amounts. One rice cake is only 11 carbs, so I would kind of use these at breakfast time or post-workout when your body is more receptive to carbohydrates. All right, so first of all, carbohydrates are very important. I don't like diets that cut carbs out completely. I believe that was the Atkins diet. I'm not sure. When people just cut carbs completely, and they would have some success, but then that's not sustainable to think that you can just have zero carbs or no carbs for the rest of your life. If you can, more power to you, but you're in a small percentage of people. I know I couldn't do it. Carbs are actually important. They're important for your central nervous system, kidneys, brain, muscle including the heart. To even function properly, you need carbohydrates. They're your main source of fuel. All right, without them, your body will try to turn to proteins and muscle they will break down muscle to make energy. All right, and those of you that know me personally know that, especially when I'm dieting for a competition and my carbohydrate intake is very low, my mind is very foggy. You have irritability and other personal things. Problems can come along with that too. So carbohydrates are not all bad things. So I'm going to talk about 3 different ways to use carbohydrates. All right, starting out with the most popular, maybe a little bit harder way to track them. The second idea, well, the first one is going to be front-loading carbs. The second one is going to be putting carbs based around your workouts. And then the third one being the almighty carb cycling. All right, so the first one, most popular, is front-loading carbohydrates. And basically what that means is putting all your carbs, or the majority of your carbs, early on in your day. And as you go throughout your day, you slowly taper off the amount of carbohydrates per meal. So example would be if you have breakfast, you have 50 grams of carbs at breakfast. Then maybe another meal or another snack 3 to 4 hours later, maybe you're at 35 carbs there. Lunch, drop it down to 25 or 30. Snack, you go to 15 to 20. And then at night for dinner, your carbohydrate intake for that meal would be around 5 to 15. So that would be front-loading carbs. You put them all earlier in the day when you need the energy. You're at work, you're at school, and your brain needs to function well. And then as you go on throughout the day, and then your day's winding down, you're going to be at night hanging out. If you don't work out, this is strictly a nutritional way to lose weight without exercise. Would be so you're at night, you don't work out, so you don't need the carbohydrates. You're going to be relaxing from the hours maybe 6 p.m., 7 p.m. until you go to bed. So you don't need those carbs. So that's front-loading carbs. The second way that you can deal with carbohydrates is putting them around or prioritizing when you eat your carbohydrates. So let's say that you work out in the evening. I always recommend starting off the day with some carbohydrates. You likely, if you are getting a good amount of sleep, you got 8 hours of sleep, so you didn't eat for 8 hours. So I think that you need some carbohydrates when you first wake up in the morning. Try to get you around, each person's going to be different, of course, but anywhere from 25, 50, some got bigger guys, in the 60s and 80s, carbs for breakfast. Then let's say you don't work out to the evening. So maybe for your snack and your lunch, pull your carbs back because you don't need them. All right, so snack maybe 15, lunch maybe 15. And then your pre-workout meal, you would bump those carbs back up because you're about to use them to have good intensity in your workout. Maybe bump them back up to 30 or 40. Once again, it's per person based. And then post-workout, your body needs them. You just went through an intense workout, so you need to replace that glycogen, fuel your muscles, so you have your carbohydrates there. So essentially, front-loading and prioritizing, you still ate the same amount in the day. Let's say you ate 200 if you front-loaded, and then 200 when you prioritized them, but you just put them in spots that are more beneficial for you, all right? So that's the second way. So you got front-loading, putting the carbohydrates around your workouts when you need them. All right, and then the third way is what we do as far as my team, Team Carolina Physiques, and I have my clients do that are looking to get down to a pretty low body fat percentage. We carb cycle, all right? And what that means is one day you're going to have a maintenance day of carbohydrates. So first off, you need to track your macros for about a week. If you don't know what you're eating at all or where you're at calorically, I recommend don't change the way you eat. Eat the way you've been eating because you don't want a skewed sample. So eat the way that you've been eating. All right. Track your macros, your carbs, your fats, your proteins for a whole week. Get yourself a baseline. All right. So now you know that's how much. That's what you can eat, and your body weight stays the same. So that's your baseline. That's your starting point. So carb cycling. You know how many carbohydrates you can eat and stay the same weight. So a non-aggressive way would be to do that for 2 days. Say a Monday, Tuesday, and then on Wednesday you throw what's called a low carb in. So once again, hypothetically, 200 is your maintenance day of carbohydrates. So then Wednesday you could pull it down to something around 60 to 75. That's pretty low. I mean, 100 wouldn't be quite as aggressive. On the more aggressive end of a low carb day would be just carbs at breakfast, maybe 30 grams, and that's it for the rest of the day. As far as a carb source, you're still going to get things like greens, and there's carbs in broccoli. It's just not a lot. So that's one way to carb cycle. So you do Monday, Tuesday, a maintenance day. You know you're going to stay the same. Wednesday, throw a low day in there. Thursday, go back to maintenance. Friday, throw a low day in. Saturday, Sunday, back to maintenance. Monday, low. So on and so forth. And there's so many different ways that you can carb cycle. You can do back-to-back low days. Each person's going to be different, but give that a shot. Whichever of those ways seems the best for you, whether it be front-loading, prioritizing, or carb cycling. I would think carb cycling would be more on the aggressive end of trying to lose body fat, and then front-loading being the least aggressive. Well, not necessarily the least aggressive, but the one where you prioritize. That's if you're a workout type person and you want to put those carbs there. So that's what I recommend if you do workouts, is put your carbohydrates around your workout. If you're just trying to get your nutrition right, you're not to the workout thing yet, then maybe front loading your carbs is the way to go. So I hope that helped. If you have any more questions, don't be afraid to ask. And I'm going to be releasing another video soon, and within a couple of days, with a couple of announcements about some sponsorship stuff. Going to be giving away some free samples and some free product, and then also doing an update on the girls that are training for the state show 8 weeks from Saturday. So I'll be giving you a little info on them and an update on how they're doing. So I'll talk to you guys soon.